Eagles co-founder Glenn Frey. So many celebrating the rock and roll legend this morning. He passed away at the age of 67, and ABC's Chris Connolly takes a look back at his incredible contribution to the music world.
Eagles are saying goodbye after Don Henley's tragic health battle. Our ABC News exclusive with Joe Walsh and Don Henley marks their first television appearance since Don's recovery from a major operation. Chris Connolly sat down with the legendary musicians for an in-depth discussion about the challenges facing one of rock's most enduring bands. "The last 4 years have been sheer hell for me," confesses Henley, his voice carrying the weight of his struggle. "I've been in such bad health." For over 5 decades, Don Henley has shaped the very essence of American rock, from founding the Eagles to his groundbreaking solo career. His influence is undeniable. However, like all legends before him, Henley now faces a battle so tough that no amount of musical brilliance can overcome it. "Survival is my legacy," Henley reflects. "Never give up. If you've got a passion for something, you have to find a way around obstacles to carry on with that passion." His bandmate Joe Walsh has just shared a devastating update about the challenge this legendary musician is facing. What is this news that has rocked the rock and roll fan community? What is this challenge Don Henley is facing? Join us as we dive into the details. Popularly known for his distinctive voice and drumming prowess, Don Henley has commanded the rock stage for over 5 decades, captivating his fans with powerful performances, thoughtful lyrics, and perfect harmonies. Throughout this period, Henley has battled with physical ailments, injuries, and even a couple of near-death experiences. His bandmates have been a source of support throughout, and Henley fought through it all. But his latest struggle has brought new challenges the band finds difficult to overcome. His health took a heartbreaking turn when he discovered he had a severe degenerative spinal condition. While his fans were still adjusting to the devastating news, Joe Walsh shared an emotional update that left many in shock. He recently spoke candidly with Rolling Stone magazine, where he detailed the health condition of his bandmate. That interview contained the most shocking update of all. Walsh revealed that Henley's spinal condition has progressed to the point where he can no longer perform while playing drums. The image this emotional revelation depicts is hard to imagine. The once unstoppable rock icon, known for his ability to drum powerfully while delivering perfect vocals, now struggles with even the simplest movements on stage. Anyone familiar with degenerative spinal conditions can relate to how relentlessly aggressive they can become. Such conditions can progress quickly, affecting motor functions, balance, and muscle control. According to Walsh's explanation during the interview, the disease has severely impacted Henley's mobility, making it nearly impossible for him to perform in the physically demanding way fans have come to expect. Walsh admitted that while they had hoped to slow the progression, the reality has been much harsher than they anticipated. When they first received the sad news, the band was more optimistic, thinking it would probably change a few things in their routine, but they could eventually adjust and still continue touring. In fact, when the news first broke, the band was reassuring fans, saying, "It's not a career-ending situation." Looking back at that time, Walsh says they had greatly underestimated the condition. Since then, Henley has required extensive medical care and rehabilitation, while continuing to push himself to maintain his vocal abilities. Despite the challenges, he remains determined to connect with fans in whatever way possible. This new reality has been difficult for the entire Eagles family. The band has always been Henley's rock, supporting both his creative vision and his well-being. But now, as his health continues to decline, they have reached a point where certain goodbyes are inevitable. It was at this point Walsh dropped the other news. After years of uncertainty surrounding his health, Don Henley and the Eagles are preparing for one final farewell tour. For a passionate musician like Henley, leaving the stage permanently would inevitably be one of the toughest goodbyes ever. The farewell tour is set to begin on July 5, 2025, with Henley reuniting with all current Eagles members for a historic series of performances, culminating in their hometown of Los Angeles, the city where their legend truly took flight. The tour, aptly titled The Last Resort, is a well-deserved, resounding exit this great icon and his bandmates deserve. For perhaps the final time, the Eagles lineup will share the stage, giving them an opportunity to reunite and reminisce about their incredible journey. It will also be the final opportunity for fans to witness Don Henley perform with the band, giving everyone a chance to say goodbye. For decades, fans have celebrated the Eagles as iconic masters of American rock. For Henley, this final tour is a deeply personal goodbye to the fans who have stood by him through it all. Los Angeles was where Don Henley's journey into superstardom began, when he and Glenn Frey formed the Eagles as the backing band for Linda Ronstadt. It's where the Eagles were formed, where country rock was perfected, and where some of the most enduring songs in American music were born. Now in 2025, Henley will stand on stage in the places that made him legendary one last time. His career was previously disrupted by health struggles, cutting performances short and leaving fans wondering if he would ever return. His journey took a devastating turn in 2020. Initially, Henley and the band kept the diagnosis private, processing the reality of what it meant for his future. However, in 2021, they decided to publicly share the news during an emotional press conference. The announcement confirmed what many fans had speculated for some time. There had been speculation over Henley's struggles on stage and in public appearances. Some felt these weren't just due to aging, but were symptoms of a deeper medical issue. The spinal condition quickly took a toll on Henley's mobility. Over time, drumming became exhausting, and even standing for long periods turned into a painful challenge. Walsh explained that degenerative conditions affect different parts of the body unpredictably. And in Henley's case, his spine was severely impacted. Some days were better than others, but as the years went on, those good days became fewer and farther between. While the spinal condition was a life-changing diagnosis, it wasn't the only medical crisis Henley faced. In 2022, he suffered a serious fall in his home. The fall aggravated his existing spinal issues, causing excruciating pain and forcing him into yet another round of invasive surgeries. The aftermath was brutal. He required multiple procedures to stabilize his injuries, which left him in a prolonged state of recovery. The combination of the spinal degeneration and the additional injuries made mobility even harder, and his ability to perform steadily deteriorated. What was once just occasional difficulty became a nearly impossible challenge. Despite his efforts in physical therapy and rehabilitation, Henley's condition continued to decline. Walsh, ever the optimist, tried to reassure fans during this time, but even he couldn't deny the heartbreaking reality that Henley's body was no longer capable of sustaining the high-energy performances he had once mastered. Despite the melancholic mood Eagles fans find themselves in, one can hardly deny that Don Henley has led an extraordinary life. In fact, some of the details of his career have left many in awe of his resilience and determination. Born on July 22, 1947, in Gilmer, Texas, Henley grew up in the small town of Linden. His humble beginnings gave little indication of the musical giant he would become. Raised in a working-class family, his father C.J. Henley worked in farming and auto parts, while his mother Huline taught school. Young Don showed musical aptitude early, joining the high school band and learning multiple instruments including drums, guitar, and piano. His childhood in East Texas would later influence many of his songs, with themes of small-town America, loss of innocence, and environmental concerns reflecting his upbringing amid the pine forests and rural communities of the region. In interviews, Henley has often spoken about how the natural beauty of East Texas informed his later environmental activism, while the social dynamics of small-town life sharpened his observational skills as a songwriter. After graduating from Linden Kildare High School, Henley attended Stephen F. Austin State University and later North Texas State University, now the University of North Texas, where he studied music. It was during college that he formed his first serious band, Shiloh, showing early signs of the perfectionism and musical vision that would later define his career. As a young man trying to break into the music business, Henley faced numerous setbacks and rejections, These experiences fostered the resilience that would serve him well throughout his career. Sheila was noticed by fellow Texan Kenny Rogers, who helped them record a demo and recommended them to producers in Los Angeles. This connection brought him to the music capital, where fate would introduce him to Glenn Frey. Their meeting while both were working as session musicians for Linda Ronstadt would change the course of music history. Henley has often described their first encounter as a moment of recognition. Two ambitious musicians who shared a vision for a new kind of American rock sound. Ronstadt, recognizing their talent and chemistry, encouraged them to form their own band. Together with Bernie Leadon and Randy Meisner, they formed the Eagles in 1971, creating one of the most successful bands of all time. Their debut album featured the hit Take It Easy, and by their third album, they had perfected their unique blend of rock, country, and folk, with classics like Already Gone and Best of My Love. The early years of the Eagles were marked by intensive touring and relentless work on their craft. Henley and Frey quickly established themselves as the band's primary songwriters and creative directors, sometimes creating tension with other band members. Henley's perfectionism in the studio became legendary. He would often insist on dozens of takes to achieve exactly the sound he envisioned. It was the album Hotel California, released in 1976, that cemented their place in rock history. The title track, largely written by Henley, became an anthem for a generation, its mysterious lyrics and unforgettable guitar work capturing the disillusionment and excess of 1970s America. Henley's distinctive voice and thought-provoking lyrics helped the Eagles transcend mere entertainment to become cultural commentators. The creation of Hotel California was not without its challenges. The band was under immense pressure to follow up their previous successes, and the recording process was intense and often contentious. Henley later described this period as both exhilarating and exhausting, as they pushed themselves to new creative heights while dealing with the pressures of fame, wealth, and the lifestyle excesses of the era. The success of Hotel California propelled the Eagles to unprecedented heights, but it also intensified the internal tensions within the band. The addition of Joe Walsh brought a harder rock edge to their sound, while the departure of Bernie Leadon signaled a move away from their country roots. Through these transitions, Henley remained the steady center of the band's sound and vision. The follow-up album, The Long Run, took nearly 3 years to complete, with Henley's perfectionism and the band's increasingly strained relationships contributing to the delays. When it was finally released in 1979, it produced several hits including Heartache Tonight, I Can't Tell You Why, and the title track, but the cost to the band's cohesion was substantial. When the Eagles disbanded in 1980, after years of internal tensions, Henley embarked on a successful solo career. His debut solo album, I Can't Stand Still, featured the hit Dirty Laundry, a scathing critique of tabloid journalism that revealed his growing interest in social commentary. His 1984 album, Building the Perfect Beast, included The Boys of Summer, perhaps his most beloved solo track, a nostalgic reflection on lost youth and changing times. Henley's solo work allowed him to explore themes and musical styles that might not have fit within the Eagles' framework. He collaborated with a diverse range of musicians, from Patti Smith to Bruce Hornsby, and addressed increasingly political and environmental themes in his lyrics. His 1989 album, The End of the Innocents, was both a commercial success and a critical triumph, earning him a Grammy and cementing his status as a solo artist of significance. Throughout his career, Henley has shown remarkable versatility. From the country rock of early Eagles to the politically charged lyrics of his solo work, he has consistently evolved while maintaining his artistic integrity. He has also been a vocal advocate for environmental causes, founding the Walden Woods Project to preserve the land around Walden Pond, made famous by Henry David Thoreau. His environmental activism extends beyond Walden Woods. Henley also established the Caddo Lake Institute to protect the ecosystem of Caddo Lake in East Texas, an area near his childhood home. These efforts reflect his deep connection to the natural world and his commitment to preserving it for future generations. Despite the challenges in his personal life and health struggles, Henley's dedication to his craft never wavered. He was instrumental in reuniting the Eagles in 1994 for their Hell Freezes Over tour, a name that referenced his previous statement that the band would only play together again when hell freezes over. The reunion proved enormously successful, demonstrating the enduring appeal of their music. The reformed Eagles found a new generation of fans while satisfying the nostalgia of their original audience. The live album from the Hell Freezes Over tour showcased their still impeccable harmonies and musicianship, with Henley's voice remarkably unchanged by the passage of time. The tour stretched into years of performances, with the band finding a new harmony in their personal relationships as well. During this period, Henley continued to balance his Eagles commitments with solo work and his increasing involvement in political and environmental activism. He became known for his outspoken views on artists' rights, digital music distribution, and media consolidation, as often using his platform to advocate for causes he believed in. After the death of Glenn Frey in 2016, many thought the Eagles would never perform again. The loss of his longtime musical partner and friend was devastating for Henley, who spoke movingly at Frey's memorial about their complex but ultimately unbreakable bond. Yet Henley, showing characteristic determination, kept the band going with Frey's son Deacon and country star Vince Gill joining the lineup. It was a testament to his belief that the music they created was bigger than any individual member. This decision was not without controversy, with some fans questioning whether the Eagles could truly be the Eagles without Glenn Frey. Henley addressed these concerns directly, acknowledging the irreplaceability of Frey, while arguing that the songs they created together deserved to be performed live for as long as audiences wanted to hear them. The success of these post-Frey tours vindicated his decision. Don Henley's influence on rock music is immeasurable. As the drummer and one of the lead vocalists of the Eagles, he utilized that platform to pioneer a new sound in American music. His signature style is defined by thoughtful lyrics, impeccable timing, and that unmistakable voice that captivated audiences worldwide. From the opening notes of Hotel California to the haunting Desperado, Henley's vocals and songwriting transformed rock music forever. His technical skill as a drummer who could simultaneously sing lead vocals set him apart from many of his contemporaries. This rare combination of talents allowed the Eagles to create their distinctive sound, with Henley's steady drumming providing the foundation for their harmonies and guitar work. Musicians across genres have cited this ability as a particular inspiration. When the Eagles disbanded in 1980, some fans feared this move would slow his career down or reduce his relevance in the music scene. That didn't happen. Instead, his solo career reaffirmed his status as a rock legend. Albums like Building the Perfect Beast and The End of the Innocents introduced fans to classics like The Boys of Summer and the title track from The End of the Innocents, proving that Henley was not just the voice of the Eagles. He was a force all his own. His solo work revealed new dimensions to his artistry, with a more pronounced focus on social commentary and a willingness to experiment with contemporary production techniques. Working with producers like Danny Korchmar and collaborators like Bruce Hornsby, Henley created a sound that honored his rock roots while embracing new musical directions. Beyond his own music, Henley's impact can be seen in the countless artists he has influenced. From Tom Petty to Sheryl Crow, many of today's biggest rock and Americana artists cite him as an inspiration. His approach to songwriting, combining personal observation with broader social themes, has become a template for thoughtful rock lyricism. He also played a key role in bringing environmental consciousness into mainstream culture, whether through his advocacy work or through songs that touched on ecological themes. Long before it was common for celebrities to champion environmental causes, Henley was using his platform to raise awareness about conservation and sustainability. Henley's career has spanned over 5 decades, And through it all, his fans have remained fiercely loyal. He has always had a deep connection with his audience. Regardless of his fame, he has maintained an authenticity that resonates with people. His songwriting, often exploring themes of disillusionment, love, and the passage of time, has deeply resonated with people. His songs spoke to dreamers, realists, and those grappling with the complexities of modern life, making his concerts feel like gatherings of kindred spirits rather than just performances. His lyrics often function as short stories, creating vivid characters and scenarios that illuminate larger truths about the American experience. Songs like The End of the Innocence, The Heart of the Matter, and The Last Worthless Evening demonstrate his gift for combining personal narrative with social observation, all delivered with that instantly recognizable voice. As news of his final tour spreads, fans around the world are reacting with a mix of sadness and gratitude. Many have taken to social media to express their appreciation for the role Henley's music has played in their lives. Longtime supporters are planning to travel to see the historic farewell tour, wanting to witness the end of an era firsthand. Others are sharing memories of seeing the Eagles live, recalling how their performances left them moved and inspired. Even those who never got the chance to see them in person understand the significance of this farewell. Ticket sales for the Last Resort tour broke records within minutes of becoming available, with additional dates added in most cities to accommodate the overwhelming demand. The tour schedule, while comprehensive, is designed with Henley's health in mind, with adequate rest periods between performances and medical staff on standby at all venues. Despite his declining health, Henley has remained characteristically philosophical about his condition. In a recent radio interview, he acknowledged the severity of his struggles, but also reflected on the fact that he has achieved more than most could dream of. "I've made it to 2025. I can't play drums anymore, but you know what? For all my complaining, I'm still alive, still singing, and still have the best fans in the world," he admitted. As the July 2025 start date approaches, the anticipation continues to build. Rehearsals are reportedly underway, with Henley pushing himself to deliver performances worthy of this momentous occasion. Those who have been privileged to hear these rehearsals describe them as emotional, but technically flawless, with the band sounding as good as they ever have. The final concert of the tour is scheduled for December 31st, 2025, at the Forum in Los Angeles, a fitting venue for their last performance. This New Year's Eve show promises to be not just the end of a tour, but the conclusion of a chapter in rock history that has spanned more than half a century. Though Don Henley is preparing to say goodbye to touring, his music and legacy will live on forever. What's your favorite memory of this legendary musician? What do you think of the Eagles' decision to hold one final tour? We would love you to share your opinion in the comments section. If you enjoyed this article, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.